When the dams on the Columbia River went up early last century, they held a lot of promise. Clean power, easy navigation, irrigation for farmers across the region. But those benefits didn't extend to everyone.
The salmon was a trading material for us into the plains and up north and in all directions. And that was something that, is not there now.
That's Shannon Wheeler, chairman of the Nez Perce tribe. On Tuesday, the federal government released a report on the damage done by 11 dams on the Columbia and Snake Rivers. It's the first time the government has acknowledged the harm that's been thrust on indigenous communities in the Northwest. The first of the dams began going up in the 1930s and cut off access to vast areas of salmon-spawning habitat. Today, many salmon runs are a fraction of what they were before the dams were erected, and 14 species are listed as endangered.
The lack of salmon in our waters have impacted us in several different ways, not only through sustenance, but health purposes and our normal consumption that we would have historically had.
And the cultural importance of salmon to indigenous people can't be overstated.
We as tribal members are on the rivers, in the water, on the mountainsides, wherever the salmon would generally be, our families would be. And so a lot of times that's where our language is spoken and the values of our people are instilled in our children to how we interact with the land.
But the impacts of the dams go well beyond salmon.
We know of 75 village sites that the Nez Perce occupied and had seasonally and year-round that are inundated.
The dams also flooded burial grounds and cut off access to traditional fishing areas, a violation of treaties the government entered into with the tribes.
Those cultural sites and village sites where our people have traditionally lived have changed, and an actual transfer of wealth has taken place here in the Pacific Northwest.
This report comes as the Biden administration has begun a $1 billion effort to recover salmon in the Columbia River Basin. Wheeler sees the report as a good first step.
Well, I think, we have to start somewhere. What we're asking for is some reciprocity here that, our tribe has ceded over 13.2 million acres of land and granted rights to the United States to move through our territory.
The report includes a number of recommendations, including working harder to uphold the tribe's treaty rights and incorporating tribal perspectives into environmental analysis of new projects. It doesn't, however, include an explicit call for removal of the 4 dams on the lower Snake River, which tribes and environmental advocates have been pushing for years. Opponents of that plan say the loss of river navigation and hydropower would be hugely detrimental to the entire region. Wheeler acknowledged those challenges, but he hopes this report shows the other side of the coin as well.
The average person shouldn't have to worry about turning their lights on or charging their phone and having, these added cost to it, but they must understand the truth of that when you do those things, you are impacting salmon in a way that is detrimental to a species that is on the verge of extinction.
Cale Williams, KGW News.